Alright guys, TacticalRab again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Big updates for you guys this evening on the Dashy Rambo OpTic saga drama. Rambo responding to Dashy's claims about the bowling alley stuff. Dashy though disagrees and reckons that actually it was worse than Rambo seems to imply. But also some discussion on where Dashy might be able to go next, especially after some of the results in the CDL tonight. Very much enjoyed your thoughts down below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Some phenomenal memes again over the last... I mean, it's just absolutely out of control. This is a nice one here from Pal. This also was noticed, although kind of hilariously. This meme is going to live on, I'm telling you guys. This is the Boston guys in front of the MGM Music Hall in Fenway, or like at Fenway, whatever, in Boston, right? Where the venue's going to be, well, this is the venue, that's where the event's going to be held. On the right-hand side, there is a bowling alley right next door, and immediately the memes on this, the guy who initially posted this to Reddit said, like, oh yeah, top 12 guaranteed for OpTic, right? Because, you know, Rambo's going to be there all the time, and not with the team. And even Gersh obviously had to get in on the action here. Scump says, make sure to get better today, and then here he is, the replies on it, you know, at the bowling alley, having a good time. So this isn't going to stop anytime soon, and even Dashy, after that stream earlier today, straight up came out with the Joker gif. He was like, you know, I've kicked it all off here we go, you know, it's time to sit back and watch the chaos. But he wasn't just sitting back, he actually got involved again later in the day as a result of, well, arguably, Rambo's response to the whole situation. So this was the overall summary. This is from Advanced Wolverine, actually. There was another one from Doc V as well, but look, there was a lot said, let's be honest here, on that broadcast. We looked at some of the real passionate clips that Dashy came out with earlier today. There's plenty more to discuss as well over the coming days as well. We're going to try and do as much as we can again tonight with some updates on his opinion on Rambo's coaching, but also some latest update on the whole bowling drama, and also him saying that his next teammates might already have reached out to him. Now, he mentions here as well that he knew immediately after they lost that series to Florida at the major that he was done for. Rambo apparently took aside Scump, Shotzzy, and iLLeY and was talking to them, and then when he tried to then speak to, maybe it was Shotzzy later on after he was sent aside, basically, he kind of knew already that he'd been dropped. And he reckoned they were so confident coming into the event that immediately after they lost to Florida, they made the call there in that kind of, you know, heat of the moment within that hour to drop him, and he knew he was immediately gone at that particular time. This actually came up from CDL Scrim Intel, since deleted actually, this one, but he says, yeah, just as I was told, they hit up Arcitys Friday or Saturday night to the event. Arcitys though disagrees and says, yeah, that's not even true, but nonetheless, we do believe that shortly after Major 1, Arcitys was hit up, and LAG said quite quickly no. Then they went after Pred, and even this from Arcitys here, you know, kind of, you know, threw me in the shades so they can shine. Who knows what that means? But yeah, Arcitys, I thought I saw a funny picture today actually. It was Arcitys with his new teammate on the graphic, and he just looks so sad, the poor guy, after almost potentially teaming with, I mean, he could have had a team with like Scump and Shotzzy and Pred, and here he is teaming with the LAG roster that's probably not going to be that good. Now, this we tweeted earlier today. Glad to see it got the recognition it deserved, at least in my opinion, right? A leaked footage of OpTic Texas starting into the second scrim set, where Dashy said that during the second set of scrims, once a week on a Tuesday, Dashy was out of there playing bowling with the boys and was catching up on VOD later on. Now, I did wonder if Rambo would respond to this. Funny that of all the ways he could have responded, he replied to this actual tweet and said the following: what Dashy fails to specify is that one night I left prior to the last map of the scrim while JP was still present recording. I watched the VOD of that one map and proceeded to do the same job that I always do, sharing my thoughts and working on bettering the team. Good clip, that I agree. Very nice clip, very nice strike. And you know, I don't know much about bowling terminology, but he's got the hook or something, and it's gone in the middle. Hit the head pin. Congratulations. So Rambo's basically saying this occurred on one occasion and is not a regular occurrence. He's not denying that it did occur on one time, but he does say that it's happened like before the final map, basically, and was like, okay, I'm off now, guys. JP will handle it. And you know, apparently even while he's doing this, maybe he's on the phone talking with the guys about stuff. So he's still doing his job in part, and maybe that's the reason why the rest of the team, Scump, iLLeY, Shotzzy, don't seem frustrated about this. I mean, Dashy was sitting there thinking, hang on a second, guys. Like, are you not getting annoyed about our coach just dipping mid-game to go bowling? Like, I don't really understand that. So, I mean, yeah, so Rambo says it was kind of one occasion, and that was that. Now, Dashy entirely disagrees with this assessment, right? So Ben goes out on stream, and quite quickly in the chat, the question was being raised by Ben while he was watching the video from Dashy to just say, okay, like, how long was this going on for? And Dashy says, since Vanguard. So maybe that clip that we saw there, or like that tweet where Rambo said it was only one time, Dashy's like, well, no, it's happened last year as well, and this year. Now, he goes on stream with Ben, actually, and addresses all this, and says that, okay, maybe it wasn't every week or every Tuesday, as he implied. Like, as we said earlier today, there's going to be exaggerations on both sides. Dashy's story will be embellished, OpTic's story will likely be embellished as well. It's just how it's going to be. Truth, probably somewhere in the middle. Dashy maybe embellished the story on Rambo and stuff to a certain certain extent, but nonetheless, there's probably still some truth behind it. So I wanted to share a couple more minutes of clips here. First of all, on, again, frustrations about Rambo's coaching style. This was kind of in the heat of the emotional moment that he had on stream earlier today for me, but last night for some of you guys, discussing, Rambo and the veto decisions, choosing Team A over Team B, not giving the team choices, not taking the team's input, and also the mini-map stuff. So apparently in VODs, when they watch their maps back, they don't actually record the POVs, they just record the full stream or the full screen minimap and discuss it like that, which is obviously a disaster in certain senses because you can't see any of the context. You can't see if someone's weak, you can't see if someone's got nades in their back pocket, you can't see if someone's put a trophy down. Even he said that sometimes he's on the 3rd floor of a building and Rambo was like, oh, why didn't you kill that guy? But it was like, I was on a different floor, mate, and you can't tell when you're just looking at the minimap. So that was one side of it, why Dashy clearly doesn't think that Rambo's any good at his job at all, and then he finally goes on to discuss where he might go next and that offers have already arrived.
It was on Boke, and I'm like, we're not playing them on this map, are we? We're not playing these guys on Boke HP. They just beat us on it a week ago. And then Ray, chest out on game day, right? We were talking about playing Berlin, chest out. No, we're playing Boke HP. I watch all the... I'm like, what the I'm like, you're not even playing the map. I bet. The next day, not even discussing it, nothing. Like, we're playing Thieves. Ray comes in, chest out. We got Team A this series. I was like, he didn't even like talk to us, nothing, bro. Like, it just completely defers to the strat. You know what I'm saying? What if we wanted to do Team B? What if I wanted to, after we got Thrash game 1, having our Tuscan S&D game 2? You know what I'm saying? But no, like, this guy, buddy, he just comes in, like, chest up. Yeah, Team A.
You're saying it happened more than once?
Oh, dude, it happened, like, okay, maybe once a week might be gas, but maybe once every 2 weeks. It's been happening since Vanguard. No one questions it, nothing. It could be honestly happening since before he became a remerged, but, because I don't know, like, maybe Ant would have a better answer, Ender, but.
Do you guys never at one point, like, brought up with him? Like, obviously, if you guys felt that you wanted him there, like, you guys never sat down with him and said, hey, can you, like, figure out how to...
I brought, like, when he would dip, I'm like, is this normal? Like, and then no one would just say anything. I'm like, okay, I guess, like, no one really, either no one's paying attention or no one cares. So I was in a call with Seth and Ant, and then I got to address this too. People thought Ray was in the call. Ray didn't even call me. Like, it was literally Seth and Ant, and then they were talking to me for 40 minutes. It's so hard to watch VODs when you're literally looking at a minimap. It's insane. Like, it's like wherever, like, it's just like a.
So wait, hold on. So he only recorded the minimap?
Dude, like crazy.
Like full screen minimap?
Dude, full screen minimap. Because in the game, you could literally only watch the minimap. It's a setting. Like, so you could actually just literally black out the entire POVs and only show the scoreboards and the minimap. And then when we're watching the VOD, it's like, dude, 2 needs to be helping 4, and then 1 needs to block the. I'm like, what the? We're like chess pieces, bro. Like, we're not even talking. I'm like, bro, and I would be 1 in the situation. I'd be like, dude, I was throwing a trophy. We called for a trophy. I was a kill off streaks. There's nothing in the moment situational that's like ever playing into factor. Like, you were 1 shot or your teammate called for help or anything. Because the VOD's also muted. Well, not this year, but last year it was. But
so you guys never watch like normal codcaster POV VOD?
We just watch 1 shoots at 4 or 1 shoots at 5 or whatever, and then that's literally it.
Like, this is a thing, like, while the whole, like, going back to the beginning of last year, like, you're saying you guys did it the whole time?
Nah. Last year because Troy was recording our VOD, so last year he was, like, recording, like, our whole POVs.
And again, if you don't want to say this because it'll get you in trouble, like, feel free to say, like, no comment. Is anyone from other teams, like, hit you up yet to say, hey, like, at some point we might be making a change or we're making a change now? Would you be interested?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely happened, but I think I have to wait 1 more stage. Maybe even like league matches but I've definitely been hit up.
So that was quite the few minutes of clips there, to be honest, and there's more to come tomorrow. Don't you guys worry about it. There's more topics on this that we are going to have to dive into because there's some juicy stuff in it and some important stuff for the future of Dashy versus OpTic and also Dashy's future as well. So he went on to there. Look, we've discussed the Rambo stuff in depth at this point. I'm sure you guys have already given all your thoughts and comments on it. There might be further updates, but I'm very much interested to see where Dashy will go next. And he says on stream there that he's had offers already. He's probably going to have to wait until after Major 2, but he did say there's a possibility of during the qualifiers, right? If a team does terribly in the first 2 weeks of the qualifiers, who knows if a team says, you know what, we're doing this now pre-Major 2, the likely it is they'll probably wait till Major 2, right? See how it goes and then probably drop someone for Dashy. But the fact that, he said at least 1 team, right, potentially more than 1 team has already reached out. Now, I don't think that's going to be FaZe. I don't think that right now they would be reaching out. Apparently they've been looking very good, but other teams that have been struggling have probably, made their interest interest known in Dashy, and well, who's that potentially going to be? And tweet your thoughts in the comments. Now, he did actually ask Dashy specifically about FaZe, and Dashy said basically, look, I love Crowder, obviously came up with Cellium a bit in the search and destroy scene back in the day. He would love to make that happen, and he's kind of been, I think Dashy said he's been trying to make it happen. He's been texting Cellium certain things to try and, you know, manufacture that circumstance. There is a world in which it happens in the future. I don't necessarily think Dashy is the type of player that FaZe needs. I think Slasher fits that bill maybe better, but we'll see how they do, right? Because look, at the end of the day, if Slasher and FaZe failed to win an event this year, Slasher's probably gone, to be honest. Like, it's unfortunate for Slasher, but that's probably how it's going to be. And if they do badly sooner than then of course questions will be raised even sooner. So I wouldn't rule it out, but I don't think it's extremely likely. And maybe FaZe have even told Slasher, like, hey, your spot is safe, because Slasher actually tweets this out: reality is often disappointing. So I don't know what this refers to, but nonetheless interesting timing, because a few minutes before this, Dashy was talking about potentially joining FaZe, and then Slasher's like, yeah, reality is often disappointing, and it's obviously Thanos saying it, which is, you know, Slasher, Thanos, that's kind of what it goes by, right? So the idea would be here that Slasher is telling Dashy, like, hey, reality is often disappointing, you're not getting on FaZe, sunshine, like, stay in your square, basically, or stay in your zone type of thing. So whether this is just going to foreshadow Slasher's eventual dropping, or whether it's going to come back to bite him, even if that is what it talks about, who knows? But nonetheless, relevant to discuss that Slasher probably feels relatively safe right now on FaZe, and doesn't reckon Dashy's going to go there. So if FaZe haven't talked to Dashy, which to be honest I don't think they have, then where else is he going to go? And we'll see, well, a couple of the teams here in a second that he might potentially be joining, especially after some of the results in the CDL tonight that we're going to dive into briefly, the first two series. And I mean, yeah, Minnesota, man, what an absolute shambles is going on over there. So these were the two series to mention. First of all, on the London side, now the other day, right, the new OpTic team, we heard the rumors that, oh yeah, they won their first series with Huke 6-2, they were looking good. I'll mention quickly the process episode here in a second as well, and I was like, wow, okay, if they 6-2'd Rokkr, that's a pretty impressive result in scrims. If they 6-2 London, then not so much. Now, I was kind of feeling pretty good about my statement there after this first series, where, yeah, London get destroyed by Toronto. This is like an unbelievable scoreboard. Asim breaks the record this year for kills in search and destroy with 17. It's, okay, it's certainly the highest we've had so far in this game. Usually it's 17, maybe 18 kills you get in a search and destroy. That's the record over the entirety of a season. Asim got 17 in 6, and they were just relying on this guy to make some unbelievable plays to win any round they could possibly win London. They just got smoked the rest of the map, and I mean, yeah, 17 in 6 for the loss, like, that's just tough. Scrappy goes 10 and 7 on the other side, and then they get 3-0'd pretty easily, to be honest. I mean, look, Standy and Scrappy, that is the duo to stop right now, arguably, in the entire league. There's a few other candidates, but yeah, these guys have been lights out from minute 1. Asim goes marginally positive, 0, nasty, tough series from them. Scraps a solid performance in his first series back, but again, just watching these guys play on the map in the control was pretty tough to watch at times, and Toronto were just a different class, to be honest. So first series for London, you know, we'll give them a little bit more time, but and also they are playing from LA, I'm pretty sure now, which is not ideal, but nonetheless not a great series from them. Even Scrappy here was rubbing salt in the wound, saying those guys were shooting bodies, but they're terrible, so, you know, this guy can't be stopped. And the other series then was Boston Rokkr. Now, I thought this might go game 5, okay, maybe Rokkr win, but this was absolute destruction by the Boston Breach. Now, game 1 went the way pretty comfortably of Boston, right? Now, Minnesota, I don't know what it is with this team. Doesn't matter what team they put together. Now, obviously, everyone's going to bring this back to Brian Saint, their coach, right? Maybe understandably, but like, the fact of the matter is, doesn't matter what team they put together, they're always terrible at game 1s, and Hard pointed out, I just don't understand it, right? Like, okay, the team on paper should be way better than it is, but they're just all statues sometimes. Like, Cammy seems to have fallen off, like, immensely from his Cold War level. Like, I just don't understand what goes on in that Rokkr camp for them to be so bad. Like, outside of that 0-4 comeback in the finals against Ultra, right, you know, Major 5 in Cold War, like, what have they actually done? I mean, basically nothing. So I don't know what's going on here, and they got bodied again. I mean, they lose the game 2, Awakening was going off, dominates them game 3. I think they got 3-0 in the control for the 3-0 loss. Look at this score, what Attaches doing his best, I guess, but again, 1.02, he was solid in the surge, but you know, he is a mainly iron boots type player nowadays. Afro struggled, mainly that was the game 1 that he got torched on, and then Bance was okay, and Cammy a 0.6, I mean, Cammy a 0.59, like, where's the Cammy from Cold War gone? Where's even the Cammy gone from Modern Warfare, right? So maybe it's a part of these individuals falling off a bit, or it's just a part of, you know, lacking a CleanX, right? Because when these guys on Toronto, Bance and Cammy had a CleanX, it felt like they were better than this, and Afro might not be quite the player that they need to unlock them in the way that CleanX is. I think Afro's phenomenal, but slightly different playstyle to CleanX. So look, I don't know what's going on there at Rokkr, but it's got to be said that in light of the Dashy discussion, and I've even said over the last few days, this could be a potential target for Dashy. You know, potentially minus Cammy plus Dashy is not not out of the question. But if that was to happen, like, you know, someone else has got to change within that Rokkr camp, because I'm just not sure what it's going to take for them to unlock their next gear. So just want to keep in mind for you guys. And also just to close out with, there was the process episodes. Thought it was an interesting one, to be honest. There was a lot of talk from Hex about the Pred situation and everything that was going on there. It finished out with this clip of Huke walking out the elevator. I didn't really feel like Dashy got a great send-off in this, to be honest. It's probably expected, but you know, nonetheless, that's kind of where we're going to leave it for today. Long video again, but I think you'll find it deservedly so. Very much enjoyed your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new as always. Very close to 92,000 as well, and I'll see you next time.